Tonight, on After Hours with Rictor, we have like the biggest Bigfoot superstar ever. Bobo from Finding Bigfoot is joining us. Now, Matt Moneymaker, he might be the voice of our Bigfoot generation. But Bobo is definitely the beloved star off that show. Kids love him. Women adore him, especially sorority girls. And he's a man's man. You know, the kind of guy that if you're cool with him, he's cool with you. And he's joining me for a special 2-part telephone interview. Now, filling in for Tammy is the Bigfoot Chick Melissa Adair. And she comes with her tag-along Rob Gaudet from Team Squatch Unlimited. Now, the conversations get really good. At one point, Bobo totally, questions Rob's IQ. Yeah, it gets good. You don't want to miss this webcast. Welcome to After Hours. My name is Rictor. I am your host.
Rictor!
What?
Leave him alone! It's Judgment Day for Sasquatch.
Thanks for dropping me like a stud.
Now we got Rictor going. We're going to have to hear about it all night. That's a bunch of screaming memes out there, and that's the scoop that has been reported so far.
By your opinion that you are no-kill, you are dooming the species to be extinct.
Well, when you don't believe in Bigfoot, everything you see that might be one is something else.
We thought that we had the holy grail of DNA.
When are we going to make a video, Rictor? And I mean not an X-rated one.
Dr. Todd, you've also been called the scoff dick.
Yeah, well...
You can't talk about
I can't!
Hello? Is this thing on? Am I muted? Can you hear me?
Hey, Rictor, I've got a question for you. How does it feel to lose Bigfoot bounty?
My question is, why do you think Bigfoot is real?
Hey, Matt, it's Rictor. I've got Bobo on After Hours.
Shut up! I heard a response and he stepped on it.
Rictor,
Bobo, is that you, buddy?
it certainly is.
Okay, so we're like a total sausage party. It's just two bros without a hoe. So let me call Melissa in, unless we can make it total Brokeback Bigfoot if you want. I don't think you do. I mean,
I love those new experiences, Rictor.
all right. Okay, dialing the Georgia Peach, Melissa Adair from Team Squatch
Talk
Unlimited.
about a short notice, man. I've been so slammed, it's been insane.
It's okay. We're calling her right now.
Hello.
Hey, Melissa, say hi to Bobo.
Hi, Bobo.
Hi, Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm alright, just a little burnt out and thrashed and beat up, but still kicking.
Now, you want some trivia, Bobo? Melissa was pretty much my teacher when it came to webcasting. She was my co-host for my very first After Hours with Team Taser back in November of 2012. So.
Okay, I recognize the name.
Yes, and I'm the legendary Bigfoot Chick, and Rictor's my
You're
greatest fan.
Bigfoot Chick.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've taught him everything he knows.
Yes, that's right. Melissa has taught me.
From traveling around the country and just going to all those town halls and just running into people at airports, and I've just met so many people. I just can't keep. I'm terrible at names with faces, and there's one guy we hung out with one time for a couple of days, and a couple of years later, someone asked me, so and so. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, you do. I'm like, no, I don't. And then I found out later, Yammer was like, yeah, dude, I got capped with us for 3 days. I was like, oh. So
occupational hazard, I'm sure.
This is actually a first, Melissa. We have never had James Bobo Fay on After Hours at all. We talked to him briefly over the summer when he was over at the Bigfoot Discovery Museum when the cast of Finding Bigfoot was signing autographs and meeting their fans of the show. So I'm very honored to have you on, Bobo. And just so you guys know that are listening, I've been bugging him for months to get him on my program. So thank you, Bobo.
I really feel bad I couldn't do it sooner, but I was trying to wrap up my book. I've been having a real, I went to the Cedar Sinai last year, and I got some degenerating nerve damage stuff in my neck going down my spine. It's making my hands not work right, my leg drag a little bit, but They got me on some. As soon as we're done filming this fall, I'm gonna go to a therapy thing, and they said they're gonna put me like on some stem cell and some drugs and all this stuff. They said they can turn it around pretty good, they think.
Well, dude, I am so sorry you're going through so much. You've been beat up on the show. I remember back in the first season when you fell down the stairs, like in the first episode.
We don't talk about that, Rictor.
Oh. All right, let's talk about Matt Moneymaker throwing a boomerang at you. And, of all things to hit, you're a heel.
Well, the truth be told was that wasn't even Moneymaker's fault. They kind of spliced it together. He did throw it, but he was throwing these crazy big chucks. And I got there early. I went there a couple weeks early and hung out with the Aboriginals, and they taught me how to throw well, they don't call them boomerangs. It's like how Eskimos have like whatever 14 words for different kinds of snow. They have so many different kinds of boomerang type things that they have all these different names. But they taught me to throw a couple different ones, and it was just the one that Moneymaker was throwing. It's this little toy plastic junk one. I was like, here, let me show you, the pro show you how to do it. The pro show you how to do it. And he threw it like a frisbee to me, just kind of soft throw. It was coming kind of fast. It was coming like, shin high. And I just was going to jump over it. It's just a long, stupid story. It's totally my fault. And it hit me, that little thing. It ended up, I didn't realize at the time, but it severed a tendon, chipped the ankle bone, and then got infected. So it ended up being kind of gnarly.
Well, we wish you the best. We wish you a quick recovery. We don't want Bobo hurting.
Oh, thanks. No way. Yeah, well, when you make bad decisions and kind of got a go-forward attitude, you pay the price when you get older.
So, Melissa, you're hanging out with a really big surfer dude and a really handsome gay guy. Which one of us do you want to go Bigfooting with?
I'm more fond of Cajuns. Right now, I'm in Louisiana. That's why I couldn't get to my computer with my partner in crime, Rob Gaudet.
Hey, Rictor, I've been sitting here listening the whole time. I can't believe you didn't call me, man. What's going on? What the heck? Why are you calling Melissa and you're not calling me and getting me on this show? What the heck? I mean, I thought I was your pal, man.
I'm working here, and if I wanted to work you, I would call you privately.
We can save that for a later discussion.
So now we've got 3 dudes and a girl. Wow, this is like a total party. I wish I was straight. I'd be so set.
Rictor's kind of party, not my kind of party.
Hey, Bobo, my name's Rob Gaudet. I'm in Louisiana. I've been doing Bigfoot research for over 10 years.
I have to say this, your Facebook group doesn't have the drama that all those other Facebook groups have. I gotta say, you guys keep a tight ship.
Thank you, Rick. You don't have Rictor post? Yeah, absolutely. We do. We try to keep it interesting and relevant. We don't goof around. We really take it pretty seriously.
Oh, right on. Cool.
Bobo, Melissa Adair here was asked to be on your TV show, Finding Bigfoot, during the first season for the Georgia episode.
I do remember that. And you were with another woman at the time, right? You guys were partners?
Right. We were the Bigfoot Chicks back then, me and my partner, Angela. And, we were asked to be on that episode. And Matt Moneymaker called me several times asking me to be on that episode, and we went up there, and apparently, I guess the word didn't make it to production or something that we were coming, so we were dismissed.
Well, that was when the production company didn't realize that Moneymaker was the executive producer, so there was sometimes there's a little miscommunication there. Quite often there were events like that where Matt would tell someone they're on the show, and they'd show up or call the production. Because we were, there was a lot of disconnects back then because they were just used to making whatever TV. They'd all come off Destination Truth, and we were like real squatchers. So like there was kind of we weren't on the same page at all.
So Bobo, the Bigfooter, the famous guy from Finding Bigfoot, is also a serious surfer. I mean, who knew? Look how big you are. You're a surfer? They make surfboards that big? Come on.
Used to be.
Once a surfer, always a surfer.
That's true. I surf every day.
I've seen that. I've seen on all the little trivia bits on the show that he was, or I guess used to be quite the surfer, and all the references made there. So that's pretty cool. Bobo, what's your proudest moment as a surfer?
My proudest moment as a surfer?
Yeah.
Well, there was that one time. There was that one time, Bobo, you totally wrestled a great white shark and brought it on shore.
Yeah, I got barreled. I got about a 30-foot face barrel one time on a pretty big heaving slab wave. Like nowadays, people wouldn't even be paddling it. It'd be a tow-in type situation, and I got fully barreled. Then I had a wave at Pipeline one time. I got a second reef bomb at Pipe. Like all the boys let me get one, and I was up on the foam ball, and I came out and rode all the way through First Reef, and I was just standing there. The wave was perfect, and I just didn't fall. And but Pipeline in Hawaii, they're yelling and cheering, and best guys in the world hooting, and telling you good ride. Like that was pretty rad.
So was that during a contest? Were you awarded thousands of dollars for that?
I was never that kind of level of surfer at all. I mean, I was more just kind of like a dude that charged. That just kind of. I was more just known as a guy that'd go for it.
So how did surfing lead you into doing crab fishing?
I just I love the ocean, and I was always kind of adrenaline junkie and thrill seeker guy, and then. Plus, you got the day off. If the waves were over 15, 20 feet, you had the day off, so it was perfect. You could, unless you're fishing Alaska or something, which I did for a while, but I preferred fishing like NorCal and Southern Oregon because you could still surf. You weren't at sea for like weeks at a time. You just go out for a couple days, come back in, and if it got really huge, the buoys are underwater. You can't even run the gear. So we'd have the days off. So if it was 20 feet or bigger, I had the day off and I could just surf.
Now, if you weren't doing Finding Bigfoot anymore, would you still be doing crab fishing if your body was up to it?
Yeah, actually when I started, and just until last year, my whole thing was to buy a crab boat, and run a crab boat. But, I couldn't do that now. My spine's just too broke. Not broken, but just the nerves are too frayed, whatever they said. And, disc, I wore out from crabbing, I wore out the disc in between the vertebrae, and the vertebrae started rubbing and built up bone spurs, which rubbed the nerves and all this stuff. But definitely, that's what I would be doing for sure.
Where did you grow up, Bobo?
I grew up down in SoCal on the beach, then I moved up to NorCal in Eureka area, like Humboldt, Lost Coast area. God, I lived more than half my life up there. So I surfed up there, and I found out when I went to Cedars-Sinai, which is like one of the top 5 hospitals in the world, they have a great spine center, and they figured out through process. I thought it was like, being a fisherman and playing football and stuff like that it hurt my neck, and the guy, he thought I was a pro. He thought I played pro foot. He thought I was an NFL player, like ex-NFL player, and he said, I can tell you must have played on the left side of the field, like left defense, like left outside linebacker or defensive end or something, because all your whiplash is to one side. I said, no, man, I didn't play like pro or any high level. And then he figured out it was from surfing, and it was all the whiplash. I loved big waves, but I kind of had bad balance, so I fell a lot and did a lot of damage. So that's actually kind of haunting me now.
We auditioned with Rictor for the $1 Million Bounty show. Bobo, me and Melissa did, and we called Cliff. We called Cliff and got advice from him on that show, and his advice was, "Don't do it." How about that?
It sounds like good advice.
Oh, you laugh and giggle now, Rob, but we all know you wanted to be on it more than life itself. And on the flip side, it was the most exhilarating, exciting experience of my life. Because I went Bigfooting for the very first time with cameras, lights, and a camera crew. Top that. That's
Oh, you know what, Rictor, you were the star. I mean, frankly, they need 9 teams of you. That's my opinion. Frankly, honestly, I mean, once you guys were gone for me, the show was just like bleh.
Oh, Rob, you're too kind.
I enjoyed it. Watching you fall in the river was the highlight of the whole series.
And the pink cast. The pink cast rocked.
Yeah, my Bigfoot cast was pink. Oh, well, thank you. You guys are very sweet. You guys would have been great on Bigfoot Bounty.
From everything I hear from everyone was that they didn't really capture the true essence of Rictor or how awesome Rictor really is.
I'm all on the editing floor.
Leave your sex life out of this, Rictor.
Hey, Bobo, your first time on television was in that Kenny Loggins music video.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which was voted the second unintentionally gay song and video of all time.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, I thought you looked kind of hot. I mean, you had the short brown hair, you're in shape, you're fit, you're young, you're playing with the ball, you know.
Play with the boys.
So then, what was your second experience on television? Was it Monster Quest with you and Cliff?
No, well, I was a surfer in the background for that movie Tequila Sunrise. They were filming right down where we used to surf down there in SoCal, and we actually used to surf with Mel Gibson when he got off work from filming. He was totally cool. We were like, yeah, he was great, man. Like, we were underage. You'd go buy us a case of beer every day and drink some beers with us on the beach. But so yeah, but you can't really see us. You know, we're just like silhouettes behind. They'd always have us in the background when they were doing stuff on the land. And then in 1990 or 91, I was on NBC News with some older Bigfoot guys, Bigfooters. I was kind of like, they brought me on as the young buck guy, and it was just local news, but it was a really slow news weekend, and they picked it up on NBC National News and it went around the nation. And then I knew guys that were in the armed forces, and they saw it like in Germany and the Philippines, like it got broadcast all over on the armed forces, whatever TV they had it back then before, you know, cable and all that over there. And what else did I do? I think for TV, no, then I did Travel Channel with John Freitas back in 2000 or 2001. We did North America's Scariest Places. We were like number 7, Northern California, Bigfoot hunting. And then I did California Connected on PBS with Scott Harriott.
Oh, and then don't forget Bob Saget.
Oh, that was later. It was Sagler.
Oh my gosh, guys, I've totally realized something. I have drawn all three of you in a precarious position. I've drawn Bobo naked. I've drawn Melissa in her bikini. I've drawn Rob Gaudet bending over, kind of leaning forward, with the shirt off.
That was quite flattered.
Wow. Wow, Melissa, you
drew me in underwear with Bart.
That's right. That's right. You kissing him. Well, at least I didn't draw you, you know, taking one for the team with the Bigfoot.
I would have been fine with that, Rictor.
I asked him to draw a picture, not of me, just a picture for an auction to raise money for a good cause. And what do I get?
That was kind of our first intro.
Yeah, that was our introduction to Rictor.
And where were we? We were at church whenever.
I was at church when it was unveiled.
She texted me from church and said, "Rob, you would
wait. Texted from church.
You did.
I did. I think he said it on a Wednesday, and it was at Wednesday night activities at church, and I had to do damage control really fast. Yeah, it was
Sunday
a shock. Yeah, no, it wasn't Sunday church.
It was drawn with the most honest and pure of intent.
As pure as girl can be.
You know, there's not that many attractive women in Bigfooting. Let's be honest, Melissa. You know, you've seen what's out there. I've seen what's out there. And, you know, you're like one of the top 5 hot Bigfoot chicks that's out there.
Thank you, Rictor. You're my biggest fan.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Rob? Rob, you got to say something. You're the straight man here.
I think you have it all wrong. She's not the top 5. She's the top.
Oh!
That's still top 5.
I paid him to say that.
You know, Rob, I am so glad that you're here because now I can ask Bobo a very important question. Is the Dogman real, Bobo?
I mean, personally, I think that stuff's all just misidentified Bigfoots, but I could be wrong.
There you go.
Hey, Bobo. So, have you heard of the Beast of 7 Shoots?
No, but you know, as we travel the country, I mean, we've been to like 44 states now on the show, or something like 44.
I have the most compelling photo of a cryptid ever taken. It's the Beast of 7 Shoots. It's absolutely the real thing. I've done a lot of research on it, and it's just a compelling photo. You've got, and I've actually, your producers contacted me to have it be in the, what's the non-true photos?
Rejected evidence?
Yeah, it was. They wanted it to be rejected evidence. I'm like, this isn't rejected. This is real. I've done my homework on it.
Well, you know what I like about it, Rob, and I'll say this: it's that it's holding a pig.
It's holding a dog.
No,
it's holding a small dog.
No, it's a pig. Don't say dog.
No, it's a small dog. It's a very compelling photo.
Okay, so Rob, let's talk about this photo. The face, it doesn't look like a Bigfoot. It's kind of got a baboon face. Now, since Sasquatch is definitely a rare creature and they are not living in tremendous populations, there is going to be inbreeding within small family units. So that could explain why this looks all weird and not like a normal Bigfoot.
You know, if you consider lycanthropy, which is, people believe that they're werewolves.
Oh, no.
If you think of where did werewolves come from?
Here we go.
What are the ancient, drawings on the walls of these dogs as priests and priestesses? Why not weird cats?
Rob.
It's because there's a real possibility that this is an actual creature. I get reports. I get people that email me. I probably have 5 or 6 emails of people that said, I saw this thing in your picture.
You guys remember Mysterious Encounters back with Matt and Autumn Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked on that too.
It's not a Pacific Northwest phenomenon, and it's not a U.S. phenomenon. It's worldwide.
Because the elders have the stories from before the whole Bigfoot craze with Jerry Crew in '58 and the Patterson film in '67.
Well, because it's not, to them, it's not legend, it's knowledge.
It's part of their natural fauna of the area.
In 1993, an eerie, animal-like sound was recorded near the Klamath River. Bigfoot researcher James Fay, better known as Bobo, wants Autumn and Matt to hear and compare the screams to the many other recordings captured on tape from other parts of the country.
Less than 3 miles from where we're sitting right now.
I didn't realize that we were that close to the actual spot. Can you tell me a little bit about the circumstances surrounding this?
I guess he was just sitting in his home at night hearing the thing screaming, and he went outside with his camcorder and didn't get any video. It was dark, but he got the audio.
Up in Minnesota, I wasn't there, but when they came to the West Coast, they just come from Minnesota, and all they kept talking about was these Minnesota reports. There's some weird stuff. There's those black lion type things, like they have a body like a hyena kind of, and
it's one of these
front shoulders, and there's definitely some weird cryptids in northern Midwest. When we were up there, and we're going back to Wisconsin here, coming up in a couple months. There's a lot of reports of that from up there, so there's got to be something to it. I don't know if it's some kind of different kind of Bigfoot, or if it's what you guys are saying it is. I have no idea.
Well, Rob, let's look at Bigfoot for a second. You have the big, fatty Patty up in the Pacific Northwest, and you've got the skinny, shorter, long-haired creatures of the skunk apes, and then you've got these ugly, baboon-looking Schutz monster that you'd have that photograph of. I mean, every region has its own looking Sasquatch creature. I mean, I don't think it's a canine person. No one's ever heard of,
I think this is a different creature because not only of the description, but also the disposition of it. These people are terrified of it.
Well, and they stare. You're living in the wild in Louisiana swamps with alligators and bugs and Lord knows what snapping turtles. I'd be kind of pissy too.
We have Lou Guru, right? And they say it's not a Bigfoot, it's a werewolf. This is the swamp werewolf, down in South Louisiana. But when it comes to Bigfoot, what do they say? It's shy and it's gone in an instant. It takes off from them, whereas this other one stands down the person.
Well, Rob, Bigfoot's not always passive and sweet and kind in Disney. I mean,
But the vast majority like that, there's of the hundreds of thousands of encounters, there's several thousand of the people thinking they're about to die as these things. Bigfoots are the masters of intimidation. They make you think they're going to kill you, but they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Melissa, you hung out with Dr. Meldrum. You got to
Yes, I did.
What does he think about this ruggery?
We both did.
I had Dr. Meldrum in my movie.
I know, but I'm trying to give Melissa a little bit of a spotlight right now.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Could you ask the question again?
Melissa, you hung out with Dr. Meldrum.
Yes, I did.
What were his thoughts? Have you talked about this? The Ruggaroo, the Bisa 7 poop shoots? What?
Well, we didn't dwell on the subject. I think we did. We did mention it in passing.
Welcome to a special edition of Squatch Unlimited with me, Melissa, your host. And we have a special guest with us today, Dr. Meldrum. Thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
We're on the set of Skookum the movie, and while he had a break, I decided I would ask him for a quick interview. And Dr. Meldrum, as you may not know, I have an associate or a research partner who has a very strong opinion about the Patterson-Gimlin film. He believes that it's a hoax.
We talked more about Patterson-Gimlin debate because that's such a passionate debate between Rob and I. But yeah, I think he finds...
Rob does not believe that Patterson-Gimlin's footage is real. Can you believe that? Yeah. He thinks that baboon-looking pooper shooter thing is real. But oh no, the Patterson-Gimlin creature with casts that's been, taken and studied isn't real.
I'm starting to really doubt this Rob guy's IQ now.
Yeah, we didn't really get into an in-depth discussion about werewolves, but I think he thinks it's an interesting phenomenon, and he's he's open to the idea.
Okay, we really need to get off this stupid werewolf shit. I know I need to respect Rob's opinion, but it's stupid. Okay, so let's get on to back to Bigfoot. Dr. Meldrum, he's probably one of our most respected peers that we look up to in the Bigfoot world, along with Dr. John Bindernagel and Matt Moneymaker being the voice of our Bigfoot generation. I had to throw that out there. I'm sorry.
Oh, we love you, Rictor.
Todd Standing. Now, he's kind of come forward saying he's got the real stuff, wants to charge you to see his evidence on his website. And now he has Dr. Meldrum and Dr. Bindernagel and the survivor man Les Stroud on his team. Bobo, what are your thoughts of that? Do you think he really does have something that we don't know about?
Well, I communicated with Les, and he said he hyped it up for the show, but he definitely backed off as far as endorsing it. And I know Jeff, I read Jeff's quote, and I was with Jeff. We filmed an episode with him right before that happened, and I was shocked that came out because, you guys saw that whole thing with the Muppet, and I can't remember who the researcher was that someone did a real good job proving that Todd faked at least some of those photos and footage. Mm-hmm. And we did an episode with Todd. We spent time with Todd. And
yeah, and your exact words was hoaxy, that you thought he was kind of quote unquote hoaxy was what you said.
Yeah, but I'll say this again. They cut everything out of the show, as you know, Rictor. They edit it. So when we film our show, we have 120, 150 hours of footage, and it goes down to 42 minutes. So what I said before was that I do believe Todd goes in some great Bigfoot habitat. I believe he's seen them. I believe he's had some encounters.
And Todd Standing will be on our show in just a bit with his actual video of Bigfoot.
About 2 years ago now, I had a biologist from Great Falls, Montana, who believed and knows Bigfoot is real.
I think if he is hoaxing this, maybe it is for fame and fortune, it could be, but I honestly felt like he really wants to protect him, and he thought if he could, come up with some footage that, and this is just me, I could be totally wrong, but this is just my kind of gut feeling is that he might have hoaxed this stuff with a genuine desire to protect the species, and he knows they're real, and he really wants to protect them. He's anti-hunting and shooting them, and I think he thought if he could get this footage, people get the debate going, or if that footage was enough to pass some legislation, protecting the Squatches. I kind of, that's from spending some time talking hours with him, and he showed me all his footage, all his stuff that he hasn't released. I saw it all.
And what do you think of it?
Dude, I gotta say, dude, honestly, I'm about the worst judge on that stuff. I'll look at something that looks pretty good. So this is where this is wrong. This is where that's wrong. And he had I don't know if you guys have seen that footage. I don't know if they showed this on Survivor Man or not, but the one where it runs up a cliff. Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, my first instinct was that it was a guy in a costume, but he claims that he had a scientist measure it all, and it's impossible for a human, and this and that. But he never shows any of this documentation, like, of these scientists.
Bobo, here's the problem. There's no scientific method being applied. Science is not being used as the platform to stand on. It's just video. You know, it's really just shit on a silver platter. And you can't put any weight on it.
Bart Coutinho's thermal video from last year, or I guess a year and a half ago up in the Sierras, the kill site, I mean, it's not very good video, but how much time and effort they put into the follow-up, you know, they got like 18 hours of follow-up video showing why that thing is 8 feet tall and it's not people. You know, like, I mean, you can show that with that video. Even though the video itself's terrible, it's the best follow-up job ever. That it's a more compelling video videos that are a lot clearer.
Well, Bart's using actual scientific method. He's backing up his claims. The burden of proof lies with the person making the claims, not for everyone else to disprove. Here's something else I want to ask you guys, since you all have been out there in the field longer than I have. If a Sasquatch is going to be photographed by you, will it be looking at you or looking off to the side, hoping that you're going to get its best angle?
It's going to be looking at me.
Right. It's going to know you're in the forest before you even know you're in the forest. You're in its home. You're in its home. You're in its backyard. You're in its territory. It can smell you, you know, and yeah, that's why I'm not buying the whole standing stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The reason why I mention that is because I want to show the caliber of Bart Coutinho as a researcher compared to the Bigfoot ballyhoo, whatever he is, Todd Standing. Major difference.
Congregation, I said, can I get an amen?
Bobo, you've been working on a book for quite some time. You're about to become an author. So let's talk about this book that you're working on. You've been working on this book now since as long as I've known you, like, what, over 2 years?
Yeah, well, I kind of didn't deliver what they wanted a couple times. And I was more talking about Bigfoot and kind of my journey through Bigfooting and what brought me out to it and, you know, the compelling stories I've had and encounters, and they just kept turning it back to making it kind of more like a TV book, you know, more about just a TV show and behind the scenes, and I just found that not as interesting as what I wanted to write, so it kept having to go through revisions, and then I started having bad nerve problems, and I would spend, I used to type like 70 words a minute, and then I was getting down to where I was typing 3 or 4 words a minute, so it'd be like really slow, tedious work. And I was about finished with the book last Christmas. I spent a ton of time on it. We were out on the road last season, last season. Or wait, no, season before. I can't remember. Wait, what? Yeah, it was last season. We were coming back from Four Corners, which we were in that. Yeah, we went out squatching, like we were in Falk and all those places, and we went to Shreveport. We were there for all the coldest dates in history for that time, that Arctic vortex, and so we came back. I was so tired and burnt out. I wasn't really hanging out with the crew. I was working on the book all the time, and I just about I spent so much time on it, and I was really proud of people who were reading it and were going, wow, that's great, and it sounds so stupid, but we were coming back. It's a long, I don't want to get too into it, but I had both the backup files, because I had a problem with TSA, so I had one of the thumb drives in my pocket going through the checkpoint, and the guy he goes, here, I'll get it, and he put it in a computer bag, and then my computer bag got stolen. I had the same bag since 2005, my computer case. I'd never lost it. I was always like anal about keeping it with me and keeping an eye on it, making sure it was with me. Like I wouldn't leave anywhere without it, and it got stolen. And both the backup files were in the bag at that, which they never were.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and so I lost the book, and I had to start over again.
So when do you think you're going to have it done?
I was supposed to be done right now, but I've been kind of dealing with a lot of doctor issue stuff. I'm actually down in L.A. right now. I just flew down today. I came down with yams, and my buddy's got a private plane, so he said, you know, if I pay for fuel, he'll fly me down, because I just got done working on, I can't say anything about it, actually, but just doing another film project. We wrapped last night, and then I couldn't make this one, because we're flying out. We're going on another overseas 2-hour special. We're leaving in a couple days, so it's 3-day weekend coming up. So the only doctor appointment I could get on short notice was in L.A. like tonight. So I had to fly down, and so we'll probably work on it tonight. I'm waiting on Yams to come back right now, and then we're going to work on the book tonight. And then he's going to, because I can't really type right now, so he's going to finish typing it for me. So I've been talking to him on the phone, and he's been kind of putting it together.
Rob and Melissa, Bobo had me send him all of my artwork that I have drawn of him, even my Bow Chicka Bigfoot, the porn cover. So I'm kind of curious to know if any of those scandalous artwork pieces are going to be used in your book.
They are so mad at me about not finishing the book yet. I've missed every deadline, obviously, and when I did hand it in, they didn't like it, like a lot of it. They needed to redo it, so they haven't even. When I asked them, I said, "Well, actually, what I was thinking, Rictor, was like for each chapter, like whatever the chapter title is, have you do like a little custom drawing, like just put it on top of that." And
that'd be easy to do.
They said, "You got to walk before you run. We're not there yet. Finish this first." So yeah, I'd love to use some Rictor artwork.
Melissa and Rob want me to do a drawing of them as caricatures, so I guess I'm going to have to draw them with clothes on this time.
Please.
It'll be church-friendly.
Hey, Bobo, what's your favorite part of the area to go squatching? What's your favorite part of the country?
Area? God, I'm the worst guy to ask that, too, because we just went to Four Corners, and I love Four Corners area. I really dig that whole Kentucky, West Virginia, and like Western Virginia, Tennessee. That zone through there is awesome. I'm blown away at how good that area is. We just got really good audio, the best audio we've got down, and that's going to air coming up. That place is off the hook, but I still got to stick with Pacific Northwest, though. I mean, that's my favorite.
Now, Bobo, there's a lot of new people that are becoming interested in Bigfoot because of Finding Bigfoot being on TV. You're Finding Bigfoot. Oh no, it's great. It's nice to talk about something that's a mystery instead of politics and the Kardashians. So you have a fan page, a Finding Bigfoot TV fan page that has quite a few people in there. I don't know if you are aware of it.
Is it my page?
No, you have 3,644 members just of fans who watch the TV. You have a huge following that you don't even know of. Like when you told me when you walk into Walmart, people come up to you and want to take pictures with you. You can't even, take a leak at the town pub without having some guy come up to you and say, "Hey, you're that guy on the Bigfoot show."
Definitely. I'm for sure the most recognized guy from the show, like by far. But it's kind of, we haven't been on the air lately, so it's been kind of dropping off. Like we're like when they do a promo, like the season's going to premiere, and then and you know what else I get a lot of comments from is, "Hey, you're that guy who was on the Soup." I'll hear that one. I'll hear that one too. But yeah, 3-something thousand people. That's a drop in the bucket compared to real celebrities and stuff. I mean, they have hundreds of thousands or millions of fans on their pages.
Rob just helped produce the movie Skookum I guess it's still in post-production, but the first run of the movie is out, and Dr. Meldrum was in that movie, and there are plans for more Bigfoot movies down the road. Would you, Bobo, and you, Rictor, come and be in the next movie that Rob puts together?
Wow, what kind of part could I be? Could I be like one of those sorority girls that gets totally taken off?
I'll be a sorority girl Rictor.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I'll write you guys into it as sorority girls.
I can't believe how many Bigfoot movies are made because I get contacted, because it's so easy to make a film. Well, not easy to make a good film, but the technology is so cheap now. Before, you had to have, it was so expensive to make a film, but now you can, for $5,000, $10,000, you can put out a film and put it on a DVD or whatever, put it on the net. And there's so many. I get contacted. I can't believe how many contacts I get about these. How many Bigfoot films, but I never see. I never actually see them. I just hear about them.
Yeah. No, ours is called Skookum, and actually Dr. Meldrum was originally playing himself. I changed his name to Dr. Cameron, but he plays himself, and he's brought in because one of his student researchers comes to Louisiana and on a Bigfoot research trip, and then she disappears. And her sister comes here and brings in Dr. Meldrum to help find her. And it's a pretty. We'll send you a link to check out the trailer. But yeah, man, it'd be awesome if I could keep getting kind of the Bigfoot big shots into some of these films we're working on.
We're out here investigating a missing girl.
Rob, are you considering me a Bigfoot big shot?
You have earned it, Rictor. You are a big shot.
You're a top now, Rictor.
That's right, I'm a top. Yeah.
And I've already started plotting putting you in as a sorority girl, just like you asked.
Anyone that can debut a pink Bigfoot cast on national television is worthy of being called a Bigfoot big shot.
Yes.
That's true.
Being that there's a lot of new people now in Bigfooting, they don't know your sighting. What you saw, get up and stand up and walk away.
Yeah, that was my first sighting. I've had about a half dozen sightings. I haven't had a great sighting yet, like where you... They're not good. I mean, I've seen enough to know they're big and they're real.
Right.
But, I haven't... my only daylight sighting was just a glimpse. It was out of the corner of my eye, and I saw it, but it was gone so fast. And, yeah, my first sighting was I still remember the date, May 26, 2001.
In 2001, Bigfoot researchers Jim Fay and John Freitas were call blasting in an attempt to generate a Bigfoot response. They were using a call, allegedly of a Bigfoot, recorded in Ohio in 1994. Freitas stayed in his vehicle to signal the person operating the call blasting device.
All I had was a two-way radio with the people up on the hill that were watching me with a night vision scope.
Fay was observing from a nearby hill.
We're looking through the scope, looking back and forth, looking back and forth.
So I didn't have any communication back with the guy that was actually doing the call blasting. So just prior to leaving, I said, when I hit my brake lights, that means give a call blast.
Right next to the truck where this big burnt out, looked like an old growth burnt out stump, just stands up and walks into the tree line.
And I hear something off to my left. At first I thought it was a bear. It was a big crunching, branches breaking, heavy footfalls. And I hear some grunting and growling. And that's when I hear up on the hill, they say, John, that thing is looking right at you. You can't see it. But I'm getting a little nervous, a little scared while we're getting further in this. My heart's going a little faster. I have no protection at all. I start my car. I'm ready to bail out of there because this thing is getting closer and it seems to be more aggressive. So I back it up a little bit and I hit the brake. Of course, that's a signal of the sound blast. That thing goes off. I go forward, I hit the brake again, the sound goes off again. He's thinking that I'm just saying, go ahead with the sounds. This thing is still next to me. It's not scaring it off.
The night ended when the creature eventually disappeared into the forest, leaving no sign.
I was with John Freitas and Manny Solario, who actually passed away 2 years ago. He was doing a 1 year in the woods by himself, Bigfoot research mission up in Southern Oregon, and he had a weird death. They still don't know what happened to him. He had like a broken leg, and he was in his sleeping bag, and
yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, oh, you heard about that?
Oh yeah, that was all over. I remember.
Yeah, it made the news. I thought they were thinking that he might have had a heart attack or something.
Yeah, I was at his funeral, but then we left the country. I went straight from the funeral and flew out over to Asia. So people don't believe me, but I really don't look at the internet. I don't look at any Bigfoot stuff. Right? I just kind of hear from if there's something significant or something real or something worth hearing about, Cliff or Matt will tell me about it. You know, so I don't really look at any of the blogs or any of the websites or any of that stuff because I just saw too much stuff calling me a retard. So I just quit looking.
Oh, no, you're not a retard. In fact, you're probably one of the most liked people on Bigfoot television. Kids adore you. Hell, they even knock your teeth out.
I was just going over to Romania. We're actually going to the UK to film. I don't know if you guys heard about Adam Davies getting knocks and howls recorded over in like Scottish-English border. I mean, it could definitely be a hoax. I know there's a lot of hoaxing over in the UK, but Adam said, you know, like, if it was a hoax, it was really well planned. They put a ton of effort into it, and he couldn't really figure out how they did it, like know where he was going to be and all this. But
is that why you're going over there?
Yeah, I'm heading over Tuesday
to follow up on these hoaxes.
Well, we know there's a ton of hoaxes, but there's been a consistent reports out of there for centuries and centuries, and the royal families have these big 35,000, 15,000 acre tracts of forest. They've been shut off to the public for, centuries. And the people that do go in there report weird stuff that, kind of fits general Bigfoot behavior or something like a Bigfoot. And they're supposed to be big, hairy, covered type things. So, I mean, I find it really hard to believe they're not all BS. But if one of them's real, then it's worth checking out.
Okay, Rob, Melissa, I'm going to have to say that I think they definitely have their work cut out for them because, yeah, I'm not thinking there's a Squatch there. Maybe a hairy Irishman, guys, I mean, there could be I think there's more evidence of a Yowie. There's definitely more evidence of the Orang Pendeck and the Yeren, but a Bigfoot in England, what's it called?
The Gray Man.
The Gray Man.
I don't know if I don't want to spill the beans too much, but Cliff started an Orang Pendeck project when we were in Sumatra last year, and he's blowing the lid off it. He's blowing people's minds with the evidence. He hired a couple guys, local Sumatrans, to follow up on Bigfoot reports and gather evidence, and he has got some just incredible results. Like, Cliff might be the guy responsible for blowing up the whole Orang Pendeck mystery, solving it. He's put together a paper on it right now. I mean, like a scientific paper, not just like, it's not anecdotal. He's got hard physical evidence, and he's got stuff going in for DNA testing. And that's the thing, like, of the bipedal cryptid world. The thing I'm most excited about right now, by far, is the Orang Pendeck and what Cliff's doing over there. Well, he's not there, but he's the guy organizing it and funding it, and yeah, he's got casts and he's got some other stuff, but he just got some insane casts that came in since Ohio that are just pretty incredible. Thank you for listening to part 1. Next part will be 2, and we're going to get gay and squatchy as hell.
Yes.
Can't do it.